That's how I look at it. And while President Trump and Republicans continue to struggle in many national polls, California's most recent election results suggest something else may be brewing below the surface. Republican Steve Hilton out-fundraised and out-polled several well-funded Democratic contenders to advance to the November 8th governor's race. In Los Angeles, a city that votes overwhelmingly Democratic, former reality TV star Spencer Pratt came surprisingly close to reaching the mayoral runoff before coming in third. Democrats might write off those results as political noise, but they would be wrong to do so. There's a real frustration among many voters. California is still one of the most dramatic places on earth. You've got Silicon Valley, Hollywood, top-ranked universities, a strong agricultural industry, world-class talent, and some of the most beautiful landscapes in America. However, many residents feel that despite all these benefits, life has become more difficult, not easier. Today, California is both booming and increasingly discontented among its average people. That's the contradiction. Take government expenditures. Since 2000, California's population has grown by approximately 16%. And in the same time frame, state spending has exploded from around $78 billion to nearly $250 billion. The state's workforce has grown dramatically, and per-resident spending has nearly tripled. The obvious question is simple. Do Californians feel like government services have kept pace? For many, the answer is no. Housing is probably the most obvious one. State leaders have talked for years about affordability and inclusion, but California's home building remains slow, expensive, and regulation-heavy. Housing prices continue to climb, as construction cannot keep up with demand. The implications are impossible to ignore. Rent keeps going up. Homeownership seems out of reach for many families. Workers are going beyond. Homelessness remains a massive problem, and more residents are deciding they can't afford to stay any longer. Over the past few years, nearly 2 million people have moved from California to other states. For generations, people have come here for opportunity. Many middle-class families are moving out today looking for affordability. Education has a parallel story. California's investment in its public schools has grown dramatically over the past decade, and dollars per student now exceed the national average. Yet student performance is disappointing relative to many other states. And then there's homelessness. California has poured tens of billions of dollars trying to address the crisis. In spite of that investment, homelessness is close to record levels. There have been some small signs of progress recently, but critics say the results just don't match the amount of money being spent. The economy itself is another mystery. California still produces enormous wealth, especially in technology and other high-value industries. Outside of those sectors, however, hiring has been much more muted. Some economists say that government spending is masking deeper weaknesses in private sector growth. Nowhere is this more apparent than in Los Angeles. Hollywood remains a dominant cultural force. It is the symbol of the entertainment industry. But much of the production work that once defined the city has departed. States like Georgia and New Jersey have seen a boom in film and television projects. International locations such as Toronto, London, and Warsaw have also become more competitive. And this is not just about actors and celebrities. Behind the scenes, thousands of workers are employed by the industry, including editors, camera operators, sound technicians, carpenters, caterers, drivers, and small business owners. Many of them are feeling the slowdown in their own lives. Studio lots once bustling with activity now sit partly vacant, industry veterans say. Jobs in the entertainment industry have plummeted, and output has dropped steeply in recent years. Hollywood is still the face of the industry, but increasingly some of this work is being done elsewhere. Meanwhile, Americans are becoming increasingly worried about a completely different issue: artificial intelligence. In a recent poll, over half of Americans said they're worried robots could someday take away jobs in their own household. But the most recent economic data has not shown widespread disruption. Unemployment is still relatively low by historical standards. So why the angst? Experts say people aren't responding to AI as it is now. They're reacting to where they think it's going. It is believed that we are in a transition period where AI will impact some jobs before it impacts the larger labor market. The jobs most at risk are those that are based on computer work, programming, research, analysis, writing, and other types of knowledge work. It's the opposite of what happened during the pandemic, said one expert. Generally, workers who could do their job from a laptop had more security and flexibility in COVID times. Those same jobs may be among the most exposed to automation in an AI-driven economy. That doesn't mean a jobs apocalypse is looming. Historically, new technologies tend to eliminate some tasks and create new opportunities. The innovations that scared us created industries and careers that never existed before. The bigger concern is whether AI might create concentrated disruptions in certain professions. Even if the overall employment picture is strong, massive job losses in some sectors could bring about the same sort of economic and political strains seen during the fall of manufacturing communities decades ago. For now, the problems in California and the conversation about artificial intelligence both raise a bigger question for the country: how do we keep up the innovation while making sure regular people aren't left behind?